Okay, so today we covered what a sanctified marriage looks like, specifically what a sanctified wife and a sanctified husband look like. And so we went through 1 Peter 3 verses 1 through 7 and just walked through the passage as it's talking about wives, in the same manner. Submit yourselves to your husband, even those who are disobedient to the Lord. And it spoke about doing it without a word and also doing it with pure conduct. So being gentle and quiet in spirit. We kind of broke down what that was in the sense of how you attempt to lead your husband to the greatest amount of growth without the nagging, without the manipulation from sexuality and those types of things, but instead through godly conduct. And it spoke about that women of old used to do this, like Sarah calling Abraham Lord, and it was very interesting because it says, Peter says in there that she did that because she hoped in God. And so I kind of emphasize the point that the only way a wife will be able to do that type of behavior, especially with a husband who is disobedient to the word of God, is because she finds her hope in God, not necessarily in her husband. She knows that no matter what type of husband she may have, that her ultimate provision, her ultimate growth, her ultimate sanctification, whatever it may be, will come from the Lord. And so she's able to submit herself to a husband that may be misbehaving or whatever it may be. And then in the second part in verse 7, it spoke about husbands likewise honoring your wife as a weaker vessel, leading her, guiding her, loving her, doing the things and living with your wife in an understanding way. And so we talked about how the living in an understanding way, really at the core of it is considering your wife. And I just summarized it to the fellas that in our language, basically, get off the couch and help your wife. Don't say you're too tired or you're preoccupied or whatever. Your job is to, one way or another, work yourself on the ground for the sake of your bride. And I modeled that, Christ modeled that rather through his life, that he was not consumed with his own personal ambitions and his own personal glory, but instead did everything that he did in order to glorify his Father in heaven and to help redeem his bride. And so too should we as husbands seek to find our greatest satisfaction in glorifying the Lord through redeeming and sanctifying and growing our wives through the word of God. And so we need to be doing that, experiencing them, learning them, considering them in the things that we do, protecting them as a weaker vessel. Talk to the ladies again, just saying, don't let your pride or your arrogance come into play with that. Allow a husband and seek to help your husband learn how to protect you better. And then from that, we really see that God will be glorified through the marital relationship. And so that's kind of where we capped it off this week. If you have any questions, feel free to listen to the sermon, and feel free to email us. Our email's on the website. But thank you so much for listening again.